Okay, so today we're going to do order of operations with both fractions and decimals. Now, here's what I like to do. If I have both fractions and decimals in a singular problem, I'm going to convert everything to decimals to make it easier for me to work with. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fraction, 10 over 7, and I'm going to convert it to a decimal. Now you'll notice that this thing goes on and on and on and on and on forever. Right? So it's a really long thing. I'm not going to write that all on my page because that would take way too long. So I'm probably going to round it, and to keep everything safe, I'm probably going to round it to the thousandths place. Okay, so that'd be 4 to 8, and 8 would be my thousandths. The 5 is going to tell me to round it up, so I'm going to call that a 9. So we would have, at the end of the day, 7 times 1.429. This would be divided by 1.2 plus, and then we're going to want to round that, or divide that out. So that fraction is 0.75, so that'd be 1.75. So this is what we would have right now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do 7 times 1.429. And we can see that that is real close to 10, so we're going to actually leave that as 10 divided by 1.2 plus 1.75. What we're going to do now is we're going to divide, because we dealt with the parentheses first. Next we'll deal with the division because it comes before addition. So we'll do 10 divided by 1.2. That's going to give us 8.3 repeating, so we will leave that. So we'll say 8.3 repeating, plus 1.75. We will add these two things together. So we will have 8 point, put a couple of those in there. And that would be our final answer, which is 10.8083 repeating is what it looked like. I'm going to double check. Yep. And that would be our final answer. Now let's say they told us to round to the nearest tenth. So a lot of these problems today are going to tell us to round. They told me to round that to the nearest tenth. I'd say that's 10.1 because we'd go to the tenth place. We'd look one number to the past, and that would tell me to round up. Let's do another one. Okay. Again, the first step for all of these problems, I think what you want to do is you want to write them as decimals so you don't have these mixed operators. So for this one, we would write this as 0.8 divided by 1.5 plus, and 2/3, I know it's 0.6 repeating, but I want to just show you how I get it. 2 divided by 3, 0.6 repeating. So we're going to write that as 0.6667, and we'll just round it there. Just because we want to go out far enough that it's writable, but we're not losing any kind of significance with it. We're going to then add these two together because they're inside the parentheses, so that'd be 0.8 divided by. And then again, this is the reason why we have calculators for these decimals, so that we can just add some of these things together. So we would have that. Make sure I got the right number. 16667, I believe. Yep. Now we're going to square that, or times it by itself. So we'll say times 2.1667. So that's 4.9. And again, I like to not have to write everything out, so I'll round it to a good spot. So we'll have 0.8 divided by, and that will be 4.946, because the 8 would tell that to round up. So 4.6986. And then we would just divide these two things. So we'd have, whoops, did I write that down wrong? that wasn't an 8, that was a 4. Whoopsies. There we go. Now that looks good. So then we'd have 0.8 divided by 4. We'd have 0.8 divided, if I can write today, 0.8 divided by 4.6946, and that's going to give us like this number right here. So again, we just have to look where they tell us to round it to. I'm going to round this one to the hundredths place. Each problem today will tell you where to round, but I would write that as 0.17, and that would be my final answer. So again, on this problem, convert everything to decimals. Once it's decimals, just do your normal order of operations using your calculator. Let's do one last example. Last example, again, first thing we'd want to do is get these things written as decimals. So that'd be 0.75 times, and we'll take 4/9. That's 0.4 repeating, so let's just call that 1.4444 divided by, let's take 1/6. So that's 1/6 and a whole bunch of 6s, so that'd be 4.16667 plus 1.75. Let's do what's inside the parentheses first. So we'll multiply this side out, which would be 0.5 times 1.4444. So that's 1.83. Let's just go to the thousands place for that one. So 1.083. And then this is going to be divided by, and then we have to add this side. So that would be 4.16667 plus 1.75, which would give me 59167. So, whoops, 59167. And then we would just divide these two things. So 1.083 divided by 5.9167. And that's going to give me 0.183. Big things to remember when you're writing these as decimals: don't round them to like the answer that it tells you to round them. Round them larger, and then we'll round our final answer to the decimal that it will tell us. So every problem should tell us some kind of thing to round it to. If you get stuck, let me know.